Even if you've never stepped on a golf course in your life, you've heard the name Tiger Woods. We all know he's regarded as one of, if not the greatest golfer of all time, but not many people know just how good he was, or the turmoil he faced throughout his career. From scandals to breaking records, to coming back after a near-fatal car crash, this is the full story of Tiger Woods. Eldrick Tont Tiger Woods, tied for the most PGA Tour wins and is one of the most famous athletes in modern history. But how did we get here? Following an outstanding junior, college and amateur career, being touted as a child prodigy, he went pro at the age of 20. His father, Earl Woods, was a single-digit handicapper and was one of the earliest African-American college baseball players in the US. Originally, Tiger wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps as a baseball player until a rotator cuff injury cut that dream short. His father was in the military at a Navy golf course in Los Alamos, which allowed Tiger to play there, the course where he started his journey to becoming a golfing great. At age 3, he shot a 48 over 9 holes at that very course. In 1984, at the age of 8, he won his first Junior World Championship, a championship he'd go on to win another 6 times, including 4 in a row from 1988 to 1991. His father Earl wrote that he first lost to Tiger when he was 11, never winning another match after, which is unsurprising given he was breaking 70 on a regulation course at the age of 12. It was around this time that Tiger would meet his career benchmark in the form of Jack Nicklaus, who was performing a clinic for club members that Tiger attended. His father had researched Jack's career in detail and had set his young son the goal of breaking every record that he held. Talk about setting high standards, given that Nicklaus won 117 tournaments in his career and is the only other player in the GOAT conversation today. He'd become the US Junior Amateur Champion at just 15 years old, making him the youngest winner until the record was broken in 2010. He was named Southern California's Amateur Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and even awarded Golf Digest Junior Amateur Player of the Year. At 16, he'd defend his junior championship, making him the first ever 2-time winner of the competition. He also competed in his first PGA event that same year, unfortunately missing the cut, but the golfing world was definitely starting to take notice of the young prodigy. After graduation from Western High School and being voted most likely to succeed, he chose Stanford University as the next step in both his education and golfing career, after being one of the most heavily recruited golf players of all time by colleges in the US. After enrolling under a golf scholarship, he won his first collegiate event in 1994. He'd also defend his US Amateur title in 1995 and was voted Pac-10 Player of the Year, NCAA First Team All-American, and Stanford's Male Freshman of the Year. He'd compete in his first PGA Tour major at 19, the 1995 Masters. Tied for 41st, he was the only amateur to make the cut. At this point, he was golf's hottest property, with sponsorship deals from Nike and Titleist making him one of the sport's top paid athletes before he'd even won a major. At 20, he became the first golfer to win 3 consecutive US amateur titles and won the NCAA Individual Golf Championship. He left college after 2 years to pursue golf. At that point, I think he was a little bit too famous to be turning up to class. Over the next 2 years, following his major debut in the Masters, he had time to simmer, planning to return to the tournament with a vengeance, and in 1997, return he did, famously winning his first major, winning by a record-breaking 12 strokes, and sharing a now infamous hug with his father Earl. This made him the tournament's youngest ever winner. All the work that they put in over the last 21 years, all the times his father pushed him to be great, and set those incredibly high expectations. The pressure of being a child prodigy had finally come to fruition. He had finally arrived. There were no doubts. He was going to be the biggest star in the world of golf, and he wasn't going to go away anytime soon. He set the record for the fastest ascent to world number 1 in the golf rankings. He'd also go on to love the Masters tournament, winning it a further 4 times, most recently in 2019, which was an unbelievable achievement that we'll touch on more later. But it wasn't all happy days. Woods was actually severely myopic, leaving him with extremely poor eyesight, and leaving him sidelined in 1999 after having laser eye surgery to try and correct it. And that wouldn't be the last time that this issue would occur, with his vision deteriorating in 2007 once again, with his only choice being laser eye surgery for a second time. But of course, that wouldn't stop him from winning. In 2000, he won 6 consecutive tournaments on the PGA Tour, one of which was the US Open, where he broke or tied 9 tournament records in what Sports Illustrated called the greatest performance in golf history. By 24, he won won his career Grand Slam, winning every single major tournament all in the same year. For context, golfers may only win 1 or 2 majors in their entire career, with the majority of golfers never winning one at all. Not many people in the new generation understand how big Tiger truly was. Billboards, TV, magazine covers, his own line of Nike products. If you were a kid in the early 2000s, there was no chance that you didn't know who he was. He was truly a larger-than-life figure, potentially bigger than the sport itself. Following a great few years, he'd hit a sudden slump, not winning a single major in 2003 or 2004, and being overtaken for the first time in the world rankings by Vijay Singh, ending his streak of 264 weeks as world number 1. But of course, that wouldn't be the end of the story. Woods rebounded in 2005, winning 6 PGA Tour events and reclaiming top spot in July for world number 1. He'd begin the following year dominantly as well, winning his first 2 PGA tournaments, but failing to add a 5th Masters win to his tally. But it was at this same year that Tiger's first real test in life would occur, with the passing of his father Earl. He was instrumental in raising Tiger to become the athlete that he became, and attended every tournament that he ever played in. This led him to take time off from the sport understandably, only coming back for the US Open, appearing rusty and even distracted, missing the cut entirely. But he'd go on to turn his sadness into fuel, ending the year by winning 6 consecutive PGA Tour events. Only 10 years after turning pro, he already had 54 wins, including 12 majors, breaking tour records for both wins and total majors over 11 seasons. Tiger brought a new approach to golf. His steely seriousness to competition made him the first of a new breed of athletes in the sport to move away from the previous stereotype of the game being more relaxed and not taken seriously. He didn't want to be friends with anyone, and he wanted to focus purely on his golf. But unfortunately for Tiger, dominoes would start to fall, with the first domino being a knee surgery that saw him out for 2 months. He'd returned to play the US Open once again, where he struggled initially but ended up winning in a dramatic 18-hole playoff, after which he announced that he needed yet another surgery on the same knee. He essentially won a major with one leg, which he called his greatest ever championship. He'd be out for the rest of the season, and television ratings for golf would decline significantly as a result. He'd return in 2009, but once again he would fail to win a major. But soon after, the second domino would fall. Undoubtedly the most damaging controversy in his life, and one of the biggest scandals in sports history. His reputation changed for good after a cheating scandal came to light in that same year. Married to his wife for 5 years, he was caught having an affair with a New York nightclub manager, but that was just the start. Over the following weeks and months, a seemingly endless amount of women would come out and tell their stories of their sexual encounters with Tiger, with the true number of people that he cheated with still being debated today. This would see his personal and business life fall apart. He ultimately split with his wife in 2010 and lost numerous endorsements and sponsorships, costing him hundreds of millions of dollars. The scandal would mark the start of an 11-year barren run without winning a single major. The previous poster boy had his personal life turned inside out. The golden child who wasn't so pristine after all. But it wouldn't end there. Thanksgiving of 2009, Woods totaled his car, 2 days after his wife found out about his affair, hitting a fire hydrant, a tree, and several hedges near his home in Florida. Luckily, he wasn't too badly injured, and even thanked his wife for helping him exit the car, apparently using a golf club to smash multiple windows and aid his escape. A later rumor would come out saying that he was in fact fleeing from his Florida home after his ex-wife chased him with that same golf club. You can decide which one you want to believe. He announced that he'd be taking an indefinite break from golf, stating that he was wrong and foolish for his behavior. He returned only 4 months later. He then had a further series of poor performances, even withdrawing from the Players' Championship due to injury. His coach since 2003 left him, and he'd finished the season ranked 2 in the world. There were some chinks in the armour starting to show. The once invincible superstar was starting to lose a step. In 2011, his ranking dropped as far as number 58 in the world, winning no notable tournaments. But in 2013, the old Tiger started to come back. Dominating play, he won the Farmers Insurance Open by 4 shots for his 75th PGA Tour win, the WGC Cadillac Championship for the 7th time, and 2 weeks later the Arnold Palmer Invitational yet again, making it a record-tying 8th win in the event. An elbow injury, withdrawing due to a back injury twice, a wrist injury, a hip injury, and a back surgery later, and he'd spend the next 4 years with more of the same sadness. 2017 was riddled with more injury woes, leaving him playing on heavy pain medication, which can't have helped his focus or his ability. And it was those same painkillers that would do him more bad than good. Here's the next domino. In May of 2017, Woods was arrested by Florida police for driving under the influence. He was found with sleeping drugs, marijuana, and painkillers in his system. He was found asleep at the wheel. Luckily, not doing any damage to himself or anyone else, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 50 hours of community service, a $250 fine, and 1 year of probation with regular drug and alcohol tests. He also underwent therapy to help him with his addiction to painkillers. He later reportedly told friends that he was done with golf after undergoing a 4th back surgery to try and alleviate leg and back pain that he was feeling. After 6 months of recovery, he played the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas, tying for 9th place. His world ranking went from 1,199th to 668th. On March 11th of 2018, he'd finished 1 shot back and tied for 2nd at the Valspar Championship in Florida, his first top 5 finish on the PGA Tour since 2013. He'd also finished 2 shots behind Brooks Koepka in the Players' Championship that same year, the closest that he'd come to winning a major in a very long time. He returned to the winner's circle with a PGA win in September of 2018. Was he finally making a comeback after years of turmoil, injuries, and scandals? Was there a chance that he could still compete with 1 leg, a broken back, and up to his eyeballs in painkillers? But remember when I said we'd talk more about his 2019 Masters win? We're talking about it now. Augusta, a place that had become a home for Tiger, with 4 previous wins in his career. People said that he would never win another major tournament. Once leveraging his incredible work ethic and physical attributes, he'd be stripped of those due to injury. Now all he had left was his experience, his determination, and a little bit of magic. He wasn't the greatest golfer in the world anymore. He didn't have the stamina or the strength to hit the ball further than everyone else. And he was also 43 years of age. But miraculously, he was still in contention on the final day. Sunday saw him 2 shots behind Molinari, a position where he'd never won a major from before. After an extremely windy first 9 holes, he set himself up nicely to capitalize on a double bogey from Molinari, but still left him tied for first with 2 other players. But 3 birdies in the next 6 holes took him further and further from the grips of Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, and Xander Schauffele, even bogeying the 18th. And somehow, he did it. He beat the odds. He silenced his haters, and he proved the doubters wrong. 22 years after his first victory, 22 years of scandals, surgeries, injuries, and more scandals, he still had it in him for 1 more. A magical final moment, throwing his arms in the air, the crowd chanting his name, and a warm embrace with his son who idolized his father. He said in a post-round interview, "I was just trying to plod my way around all day, and then all of a sudden, I had the lead. When I tapped in the final putt, I don't know what I did. I know I screamed. To have my kids here, it's come full circle. My dad was here in 1997, and now I'm the dad with 2 kids. It would have been a beautiful way to end his career, but he still had fire for competition. He still wanted more. Until his body gave way entirely, he would continue to play. Still recovering from his existing surgeries and injuries, he crashed his car again. This time, not just getting away with a scratch. Open fractures to both upper and lower portions of his tibia and fibula in his right leg, damage to his ankle bones, and trauma to the muscle. Was this the nail in the coffin that would finally see Tiger walk away from the sport? There's surely no way he could compete anymore. His body was broken and had been for a long time. He was lucky he survived, let alone touch a golf course again. But we both know what happened next. He returned once more for the 2022 Masters, once again at Augusta. Surely not, right? He made the cut and finished in 47th place, 23 behind Scottie Scheffler, but the fact he recovered and was still playing was an absolute miracle. It appears as of late that Tiger has taken more of a backseat to professional golf, taking more time to create content on various YouTube channels, helping golfers of all levels with his tips that helped him become one of the world's greatest golfers. He now has Charlie, who he competes with in tournaments, who is turning out to be a hell of a golfer, and his daughter who caddied for them both. Imagine seeing Tiger smiling like that 15 years ago. It would simply never happen. Regardless of his scandals, he has left a legacy, saying that what he achieved will most likely never be replicated. A golf genius, an inspiration, who of course had his flaws, but that was the story of Tiger Woods.